16, 13 through 15, we learn about a lady named Lydia. I find her very intriguing. She was a dealer of purple cloth, and back then purple, beautiful purple, was not easy to come by. I mean, there was a process that you had to go through to extract the color from a snail, and it was just very, very difficult to get. So only royalty and people with money were able to wear purple cloth. But Lydia, as a dealer, that meant that she knew somebody who could get her the cloth. She had the boldness to go out and make the deals, to do the negotiations, and to sell it. And the thing that I find most intriguing about Lydia is that she chose one of the most lucrative professions. Now listen, in our culture, especially as Christians, sometimes we embrace the idea of lack to say, I'm okay, I don't have to have that. And listen, there is never a time when it's okay to be in lack when God has called you to do something different. Of course, there are some ministries and some callings that will never yield the type of money that will make you wealthy, and we find our peace in that when that's what God has called you to do. But if you are a person like Lydia who was called to do something amazing, you have to step out with the boldness and the fire that God requires. Here's why. Lydia was a wealthy woman, and her wealth provided shelter, provided a home, provided a place for the early church to meet. She ended up being the first one to share the gospel and take that gospel to all of Europe. And she is significant in the spreading of the gospel in the early church. Now, suppose Lydia would have said, I don't want to be a dealer of purple cloth fabric. I don't want to negotiate with people. I don't want the trouble and the hassle, and I don't want the responsibility of wealth. Then she would have missed an opportunity. Of course, God would still have gotten his word out, but Lydia would have missed it. And my encouragement for you today is to be bold, be courageous, be on fire, and go for the real thing, the big thing, the top thing that God calls you to do. You know if it's your call because it's what you want, it's what you look at. And we have to break away from thinking that, oh, I'm being materialistic, I'm being selfish, I shouldn't want that. It's okay to enjoy the things you have, especially when you know, like in ministry and business, when most of what we do is going to be used for the kingdom, for serving God. And when we are doing well, the kingdom does well. So I just encourage you to listen to what God is saying, to consider the boldness that he's asking you to demonstrate. When she accepted the gospel, it wasn't that the gospel was prevalent. This was new. Grace has come, and they're used to the law. They've known the law, but the Gentiles are now getting saved, and they're not going through all of those steps that they're used to in the law. This is a total culture shift, a mindset shift that's happening. And for Lydia to step in and for the Holy Spirit to draw her and for her to recognize a move of God was phenomenal. Friends, when God is doing something, especially in business, you have to move. My last point is, if you are trying to move and you know for sure that it's God, that he's telling you to do it, that he led you there, but the place is stalled, do not jump and quickly say that, oh my goodness, I must have gotten it wrong. It's not God. Instead, go back and revisit what God told you in the first place. It may be that it's time for a shift. It may be that he wants you to do something different with different people. It may be that he's going to make some kind of move so that you are correctly aligned with him and with the plan that he has. You have to be aligned. And when God tells you to do something and you know it's him and you feel like it is stalling, then you got to go back to your knees and say, God, I know you told me this. I know I'm in the right place. I know this is what I'm supposed to do. Then it should not be stalling unless I am not getting the entire message, unless there's a change, a move, or something that I have to do in order to see this thing come to pass. When the Israelites were on their way from Egypt to the promised land, the land was theirs, but they had to fight for it. The land was theirs, but they had to fight for it. God makes promises, but we're a part of the realization of that promise. We have to be awake. We have to be alive And oh my, we have to be bold. And just want to encourage you to step back, go back to the promise. Look, be like Lydia. Go for it. The whole thing, not a piece of what God told you, but the whole thing. And you do whatever it takes to make it happen. Hope you enjoy the post, The Divine Entrepreneur.